Thank you for joining us on the Nikki Maduro Show. I'm Nikki Maduro. She's Kim McAllister. And a big thank you, my friend, for stepping in yesterday. I am
100%.
not feeling 100%. I don't know what is wrong with me. I don't believe I have COVID or measles, people. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm not eating much and I have brain fog. I don't know if it's COVID. I'll test myself again. I don't know, but
You poor
I don't know.
thing.
It's just weird. I'm feeling weird. I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling run down. But I am here, damn it, because there's a lot to talk about.
You know
So
what
hit that
sucks?
subscribe button and
What
follow the show.
sucks is being
Huh.
sick in the summer. Like you feel like in the winter, you expect to get something.
Yes,
You're going to be
exactly.
coughing, something's going on, but in the summer, it's supposed to
sucks.
be sickness-free zone.
Yes, it
No.
sucks. Although my son always says this at the beginning of every summer that he gets a cold, and he does. Every
Yeah.
summer, at the beginning of summer, he gets a cold. But yeah, and it's hot, and the last thing I want to do is just like lay here. I've been drinking my water. I don't know. I just haven't really been able to eat very much lately, and it sucks ass. I'm just saying. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
And a positive note, the
Mm.
pool at my house is finally clean.
Yay! Thank you, pool guy / David /
Yeah.
husband, for getting that done.
So we cleaned it for the 4th of July because in my family, everyone takes a holiday.
That's right. I
And my
remember.
holiday is 4th of July because of the pool that I have that's from the 70s, lest anyone think it's a nice pool. It's just
Hey, it's a
it's
hole
a
with
pool.
water, right?
I'm fortunate to have it. Except for when I have to nag my husband to clean it, which I've told him, listen, teach me how to do it and I'll
Yeah.
get out there and I'll do it myself. He's like,
He could do
you'll
it.
never do it. No,
He could-
you'll never do it.
Exactly.
Anyway, it's done. And so
Yay.
we've been frolicking in the pool and it's been really, really nice. Speaking of all the
Oh,
hot
that sounds
weather.
so
Yeah.
nice. I don't even have the
Yeah.
energy to do that. Honestly, I could take a nap all day, every day, but we'll
Oh,
see.
you poor
Hopefully,
thing.
I ate today. I was able to get a little bit of food in, but my appetite's not there. So I'm just glad I was able to get behind the computer and be able to do this show. So thank you again for
Absolutely.
stepping in yesterday. A lot to talk about, though. I want to, yes. Biden is been the forefront of all the headlines, and I'm kind of tired about it. You talked about this. It's going to be either Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. I don't foresee that we're going to have some other random Democratic nominee. I think that's so out of left field. I don't think that's appropriate either. I think voters voted for Biden with a Kamala Harris vice presidency under the assumption that if something happened to him, Kamala Harris would step in. I think that if Joe Biden is going to be the president, it's going to be Kamala Harris. So let's just go with that. Let's just stop talking about whether Biden can or cannot do it. It's either going to be him or it's going to be Kamala Harris. And let's start talking about the other side of the line, and that's the Republican Party and their platform, because their platform is out. And it's not the 2020 platform, which was just like kind of ditto what 2016 was. COVID was happening. They couldn't get together, yada, yada, yada. Basically, the RNC platform reads like a Donald Trump speech, okay? I'm going to just read it for you. Now, and I also want you to realize that, and I don't think that they did this on purpose. It's all in caps. So it's literally like a Donald Trump speech. Okay, number 1, seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. Okay.
Okay.
Are they going to get out like a gigantic thing of super glue and seal the border? I mean,
Of course they are.
this whole thing it reeks of buzzwords with no specifics, which again is literally Donald Trump. He just lays things out. I'm going to deport all of the illegals. Okay. And when he was asked during the debate, how do you plan to do that? What would that look like? Go back to the tape. Going back to when there was tape. He didn't answer it. You want to know why? Because he's not going to do it. Do you want to know why? Because it's not possible. It's not possible. And we actually, as a country and an economy, don't actually want to do it. But that's number 1. Number 2, carry out the largest deportation operation in American history. Again, no specifics of what that would look like and how absolutely terrifying if they actually try to do it, how that would look. Okay.
Okay, so it's also terrifying, but do they not realize we need immigrants to make our
Exactly.
economy run?
Exactly.
Do you know what would happen if they took all the people?
Right. Who's gonna do all those jobs that white people don't want to do? Right. I
Do
mean,
they
I'm
know?
just gonna do white, brown. White people are
mean-
not on our farms. They're not. Come on, people.
There were already, toward the end of the pandemic, and I don't know if they still are, restaurants with signs slapped on the doors that they
Right.
couldn't find enough people to hire. So give them a break, right? Restaurants were closing because they couldn't find people that would take the jobs. You want to
Exactly.
deport people when we need people?
Right. Exactly.
Okay, great
Exactly.
plan.
End inflation, make America affordable again. Affordable. Okay. Again, it's just buzzwords. Make America the dominant energy producer in the world by far. We are, actually. Thank you very much.
Question: how are you going to make America affordable? Are you going to dictate to the guy who's making the bread
big business,
what he's
right?
got to sell? Are you going to tell Heinz
Exactly.
Ketchup what their prices ought to be?
Exactly.
Are you going to
Thank
tell
you.
whatever grocery store you go to, you know,
Right.
you can only make 10% profit on anything you sell? Well, how are you going to fix
Right.
that? You can't. You have
Exactly.
no control over what the prices are.
Right. And that's it. I
Asinine.
mean, we're not going to have capitalism. Is that what we're at? We're going to dictate. Are we going to dictate the prices of everything right now? I don't think so. Large tax cuts for workers and no tax on tips. Defend our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our fundamental freedoms, including freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to keep and bear arms. Freedom of religion is going to be really interesting. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about this whole idea of religion. We're going to be talking about Christian nationalism. And I'll mention this again towards the end of the show because there's this documentary I want to talk about tomorrow that I'm going to watch tonight. It's called Bad Faith. It came out earlier this year. It's free on Tubi, Tubi, and like 99 cents on Prime. I'm going to watch it tonight. Apparently, it's supposed to give a really in-depth look at Christian nationalism. But Senator Josh Hawley has straight up said, he was at this conservative, I don't know, he was speaking at some conservative group and said straight up, I'm a Christian nationalist and I want this country to be a Christian nationalist country. They are saying it
Wait a
out
minute.
loud.
Hold on. That's not freedom from religion.
Thank you.
What
religion?
you're saying is you want to be free to cram your religion down my throat.
Exactly.
Because
exactly.
we have freedom from religion right now. I want to be Jewish, I could. If I want to
Exactly.
be, a Catholic, I could. If I wanted to be a
No religion.
atheist,
You
I could.
Exactly.
If I wanted to be a whatever, pick a religion, a Buddhist, a Satanist,
Whatever.
I don't care, whatever. I have a full-on freedom to participate in any of those religions. What you're telling me is when you say freedom from religion, you mean you want my public dollars to go to pay for your Christian school.
Exactly.
When you
It's
say
Christian.
freedom from religion, what you're saying is you want me to have to deal with the 10 commandments posted in a public school classroom.
Exactly.
You want to indoctrinate my kids and you want to force me to play your Christian games.
Yep. Yep. Pretty much. It's Christian religion. They say religion, but they mean Christian religion. So
That's
don't
not freedom. That's
That's
not
not
freedom
freedom.
from religion for me.
Keep going down the list. Cancel the electric vehicle mandate, cut costly and burdensome regulation. This is what scares me. I mean, look what we're in. The heat dome that is surrounding so many parts of the United States. Look what's happening in Texas. I mean, the fact that the Republican Party is so ignorant of how we need to move business and technology into clean energy, and they're just fighting tooth and nail against it to our own detriment. To our own detriment is so ridiculous. But the part that also is drawing a lot of ire, I will say, from some within the Republican Party is the fact that the RNC platform does not specifically lay out a pro-life platform. And that has pissed off a lot of people, including good old former Vice President Mike Pence. He put out a statement. He says the RNC platform is a profound disappointment to the millions of pro-life Republicans that have always looked to the Republican Party to stand for life. Now is not the time to surrender any ground in the fight for the right to life. The 2024 platform removed historic pro-life principles that have long been the foundation of the platform. Do not be fooled by this. Just because it does not say pro-life and it says, leaving it up to the states, pretty much, don't get it twisted. This platform, it's just a platform. Okay? The Supreme Court is still the Supreme Court. It still is. Just because it's not on the platform does not mean the Republican Party that wants to give you any more reproductive freedom than they do right now. They're just trying to say, we're being sensible right now, and they know that the abortion issue just does not work for them.
Don't forget who's responsible for zapping out Roe v. Wade.
Exactly.
Don't forget what happened in all the red states controlled by conservatives after they did that.
Exactly.
They might soften their language. They don't mean it. We
No.
saw what do they say? Pay attention to what people do, not what they say.
Exactly. Exactly. And
Yeah.
the truth of the matter is the Republican Party says they want to leave it up to states, but then when you look at what the states are doing, right? That's not good for the people that live within those states. People did not, I think, really understand what it meant with the overturning of Roe v. Wade. And I don't think that they fully understood that it could actually happen, but it did. With this conservative Supreme Court, it did. And women's lives have been put at risk. And they know that the more that they make abortion an issue, the more it doesn't work for them at the polls. So we'll see what happens. Oh, and I also want to add this other one real quickly. They're like, secure our elections, including same day voting, voter identification, paper ballots, and proof of citizenship. And the only reason I'm
Oh.
also bringing this up
Hmm.
is they are trying to have their cake and eat it too with this whole voting. While on one hand, they are still trying to push this whole Dems are stealing your vote, with the ballots. They also want to flood the ballots is what they're saying, and telling you to vote early, which would only mean absentee ballots. So they're talking out of both sides of their mouths, Republicans, because they know that early voting works, right? I mean,
Yep.
absentee ballot. Well, one, people in the military, people that are not inside the United States. You don't want to disenfranchise those that are serving our
Right.
country and not able to be there to go to the polls. And two, it works. We've been using absentee ballots forever, and it's absolutely ridiculous to go back now. There are safeguards in place. There's recounts and all sorts of things, and those that don't like the system only don't like it when they lose. When they win, there's absolutely no problem with it whatsoever.
How do you prove you're a citizen? I mean, you can't just bring your driver's license, which is in my wallet all the time. So
Right.
a lot of people don't have that anyway. They don't
Right.
drive or they're older or whatever. They don't have a license. So, but that doesn't prove I'm a citizen. So I guess the only thing that would prove I'm a citizen is if I'm packing my birth certificate with me or a passport, right?
Right.
And a lot of people don't have a passport. I
Right.
didn't have one until just a couple years ago,
They want a voter
maybe
ID.
7 years ago. So
Right.
before that, I wouldn't have been able to vote if I didn't
Right.
have my passport or I didn't have my. I mean, I don't know. You're really making it hard for people that have a legitimate voice and a legitimate vote.
Well, that's why they say that a voter ID, because it's a cost, and it basically is like a tax. Like you have to pay to be able to vote to do that, and it makes it kind of illegal. Look, there are safeguards in place to prove if somebody can vote. And oftentimes, as we've seen in past elections, those that have been caught breaking the rules have been Republicans. Those that have voted twice or voted in multiple states. And they're caught because the system works. Those people that are saying, oh, look, I voted in 2 states and it caught me, good, because the system freaking worked. You know what I mean? And again, if there are irregularities, we catch them.
Hmm.
But again, these people only care when they're unhappy with the results. You never see someone saying, I won that election, but it seemed a little odd. No one ever says that when they win. They only say that when they lose. There was a tweet recently of Elon Musk. Now, this isn't the United States. And he tweeted out, he's like, he retweeted it. Argentina hand counted 99.9% of their 27 million paper ballots in less than 6 hours. There's
Wow.
no reason it can't be done here. Okay. He retweeted this.
Yeah.
I Googled and I searched, Kim, for any evidence. Now again, if you have found it, any news report, any evidence that this actually happened, couldn't find anything. I could find Symantec, a connection to Symantec in Argentina's ballots, not necessarily this latest one or whatever, but I found no evidence except this one retweet from End Wokeness that was retweeted by Elon Musk
Oh God.
in 6 hours. Now, again, if they have a bunch of people hand counting them, okay, but no news report, nothing to document that it was 100% accurate in 6 hours, 27 million ballots. I don't know how the hell they did it. But again, he's like, there's no reason it can't be done here. We need to end. Elon Musk is like, we need to end, electronic machine voting. And this just made me think, Why would Elon Musk, someone that literally made his wealth off of technology, take this stance? So
Yeah, it's weird.
don't trust technology. Technology can't be improved. Don't trust it. Don't trust it. But get behind the wheel of an autonomous car. Go into outer space in this freaking spacecraft. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about?
You're totally right, by the way.
On technology.
The only places I can find are not reputable sources at all for that hand counting situation.
Right.
That's not true.
I don't know where he. Now, again, I'm not saying it's not true, but where the hell is he getting it? Where did he get it? He's like, electronic voting machines and anything mailed in is too risky. We should mandate paper ballots and in-person voting only. Like, there are ways to safeguard things. If there's not, like, why should we trust any technology whatsoever?
Look at that. Revolver News, Common Sense Show. This is not reputable. And
exactly.
you can see they have their advertising on the other page there. 0% liberal. Like, this is obviously biased and ridiculous. So this is their new.
And this
is
what Elon Musk is trusting. Like,
ridiculous.
This is what I don't understand. Like, we can make it better. I understand. If people have concerns, let's make it better. Let's have checks and double checks. But we use technology all the time. Why? Because humans are fallible, right? I mean, people get tired. You think counting 27 million ballots by hand is easy, right? People make mistakes. And so Elon Musk is full of crap. I mean, I don't know where his head is, but just him making that statement just kind of pisses me off. And again, it feeds into this whole narrative that, again, if your side loses, something evil happened or there was some sort of cheating going on, and that's not the case. It's just you lost. Try again next time. That's what has to happen.
Maybe we do it both ways. Maybe we have a computer count and a hand count. And I'm okay with not knowing day of.
Well, if it's within a margin of error, but yeah, it costs a lot of money for that. That's what we do have. If it's within a margin of error, you get a hand count, a recount, and you're allowed to have that. And that's what we had a lot of in the last election because of all the nonsense. A count and another count, and it'd go into the courts, but no one would believe it because your side kept losing, and they just didn't want to believe it. But it wasn't any of the other races. It wasn't any of the other ballots that you did win on. It was just the race you lost. And when it's that case, then you know what you're saying. You're a sore loser. And just admit it. It's fine. I mean, I get it. It sucks when your side loses. Believe me. I know what that feels like. Everyone knows what that feels like. But it doesn't mean that we need to go through this every single freaking election. And it also doesn't mean we need to go back to hand counting. Because do you want to know? I still think it's BS, the 27 million ballots in 6 hours.
No.
You want to know how long it would take if we went back to hand counting ballots in this country? Are you freaking insane? We would never have election night coverage. There wouldn't be a need for it. It would be weeks and weeks and weeks later. There's no freaking way we would know the results of an election that night. No freaking way. There's a reason we went to freaking electronic voting machines.
Either way, there's still questions. So you say you have questions about the validity of a machine counted ballot, a computer hacking or whatever, cheating that way. Well, what about people?
Hand count, yes, exactly.
You think people don't cheat? So
remember, everyone was the hand counting. Everyone was all upset about that as well. So, like, what do you want? Again, you have to just give some sort of trust to the system that we've given the trust to, and also understand that when you lose, you just also have to accept it. You do. You have to accept it. There's a check and a double check, and then it is what it is. And let's move on. And there's another election, and we just keep going. Like, we just have to keep going. And I do believe that if it wasn't Donald Trump with his sore loser ass and everything that he kind of poisoned the well with, we would never have been in this position. We just wouldn't have. I mean, I know that there was the Gore Bush fiasco as well. But again, Al Gore sucked it up and conceded when many people said he shouldn't have. But he did. And I do think that we needed to, because the country needed to move on. And then it led to what it led to. So, I just think we need to keep the focus on Trump. We need to keep the focus on the Republican Party. We need to keep the focus on Project 2025. Trump is really trying to distance himself now from this. Now, the RNC comes out with this Trump rally, all caps kind of platform with no details. Then there's the 800 page, I think it is, something like that, Project 2025, that apparently was written by people extremely close to Donald Trump. Weren't part of his staff, and he's like, I don't support any part of it. I don't even know what's in it. CNN was talking about how Donald Trump is trying to separate himself and if it's even going to really work. I'm going to play you a little bit of this conversation about it.
The Project 2025, we've all been covering it for months about, it's not from the campaign, it's from a bunch of conservative groups that support Trump. And as Kristen points out, Russ Vought, his OMB director, is like basically the architect of it. Do you believe that he knows nothing about it?
No, it's an obvious lie. But I do think there's a connection between that and the changes to the platform. For 8 years now, 10 years now, there's been this steady effort by a lot of intellectuals, activists, ideologues, activist groups, all that kind of thing, to craft something cogent and coherent and consistent called Trumpism, right? And the problem is you can't do that because Trump himself brags about how he goes with his instincts, he changes his positions, he doesn't want to be tied down to anything. And so a lot of these very committed people end up being made to look ridiculous. Kevin Roberts, the reason why Trump issued that statement was that Kevin Roberts, the president of the Heritage Foundation, had gone on Steve Bannon's Goon Show, his podcast, and said, we're having a second American Revolution and it'll be bloodless as long as the left allows it to be. It sounded like a creepy threat, got a lot of bad press. And Trump says, okay, all of you guys under the bus, I want nothing to do with you.
Right.
You have committed pro-lifers for years who've pushed the GOP to be a pro-life party. Trump says this is a problem for me. Even though we got rid of Roe v. Wade, we're going to make the platform bend to me. I'm not going to bend to any set of principles or platform. And it's the consistent through line is the whole party has to shape itself to whatever Donald Trump wants at any given moment. And that means you're never going to have a consistent body of principle or politics.
And what do you think about the effort, for instance, to say in the platform, in the Republican Party platform, that abortion should just be left up to the states, which is obviously not what a lot of anti-abortion groups want him to do. They want him to commit to a national ban.
Right. I think that the Republicans know this is a losing issue for them. They've lost on every referendum that's come to ballots in 2022, and continually they will lose. So I think that Donald Trump is realizing that this is not the way he's going to get these independent voters and these suburban women that are on the margins where this election is going to be won. So I don't think he had a choice here. He had to bend. He had to move more to the center here, or because he knows it's a losing issue. This is I
don't want to pause it right here because I wanted to move forward a little bit in this conversation because this gentleman right here was making some good points about 2025. Let's listen.
That going on for months now. Remember, Susie Wiles and Chris LaCivita, both with the Trump campaign, came out and essentially warned both of these groups to stop going out there and promising jobs or acting as if they were maybe recruiting for a future administration, essentially saying, we haven't won yet. And so, there is this difference of opinion between what actually should be out there as far as policy. I think the platform is much closer reflection of where Donald Trump wants to take the party than necessarily Project 2025, which, look, is probably the opinion of Russ Vought and a few other folks who are over at the Heritage Foundation. I doubt that the Trump campaign has gone through all 900 pages of it yet, though, to decide whether they agree or disagree on every single policy point. So they don't want to take ownership of the document. They had no ability to craft into it. Even if a couple of those people may end up in the administration, ultimately it will be Donald Trump's administration, be a reflection of the policies he puts forth, which is probably more accurately, closely reflected in this platform, which, by the way, is the first time it's really been updated in quite some time. Usually these platforms have become very like Frankenstein almost.
I thought there wasn't a platform in 2020.
Basically, it said what we said last time.
It was just like
Trump's awesome.
Ditto.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What about these comments by Kevin Roberts, the head of the Heritage Foundation, talking about the second revolution is coming? What's the quote?
It will be bloodless so long as the left allows it.
That's not a kind comment.
No, I mean, you see this sometimes. Donald Trump right now has been remarkably on message, right? I mean,
okay, let's stop it there. So basically, like Donald Trumpism, and that was the whole point of it, is that's where they're going to lead. But the Project 2025, the reason why I want to keep that going, even though Donald Trump may not agree with every 900-page part of that whole thing, if he surrounds himself with people from the Heritage Foundation, if he surrounds himself with some of the, people behind that document, he could incorporate some of it. They could bend his ear to it. If he becomes president, God forbid, I could imagine him incorporating some of that into it. So, and you know what the funny thing is, and the frightening thing is, Kim, this whole Christian nationalist movement, he is not a Christian. And I don't know what it is.
But Nikki,
evangelicals
he sold
that
Bibles.
love
Did
him.
you not see the Trump Bible?
I know, but this is what drives me nuts, is he's the farthest thing from a Christian. And it blows my mind that Christian nationalists, evangelicals, are with him. Like, he is their symbol. And it drives me crazy. So again, I'm going to watch that documentary, and I urge you guys all to watch it because I want to talk about it tomorrow. I'm going to try it. I'm going to watch it tonight. I'll make the promise so we can talk about it tomorrow. I want to watch it. Again, it's called Bad Faith. It's free on Tubi, Tubi. And it's about Christian nationalism. And it's gotten a lot of good. It's going kind of viral on social media right now. I think it's because of Senator Josh Hawley's comments recently and other people's comments recently about moving this country. And what's the problem with it? I was reading some reviews online, Kim, like even on Rotten Tomatoes. One review was like, what's wrong with nationalism? There's a difference, a fundamental difference between nationalism and patriotism. And if you don't know the difference, read your history books. So it's going to be interesting to watch. So again, Bad Faith is what the documentary is called. 100 got 100 on Rotten Tomatoes. It's pretty much very well done, apparently. But yeah, those are some of the people behind the Project 2025 team.
These are the three guys in charge, three white dudes.
Yep.
You got Paul, Spencer, and Troop.
There you go.
They're part of the Heritage Foundation, and these are the people that are behind Project 2025. Is that crazy or what?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will discuss that tomorrow. Thank you guys all for being here. This is our show, and thank you, Kim, again for stepping in for me yesterday. You guys, please click the thumbs up button to show your support for the show. I appreciate all of you guys so very much, and those of you that support us any way that you can. Patreon, we do take Patreon. Just go to thenikkimadoroshow.com, thenikkimadoroshow.com. Click the Patreon link. It's right there. PayPal as well. Just go to paypal.com. Hit the send button, and the email is thenikkimadoroshow@gmail.com. And then support our sponsor, Auntie Tabby's Island Flavors Barbecue Sauce. Just go to auntietabbies.com. Use the coupon code NICKKIM, NIKKIM. You get 10% off every single time you order. There's guava barbecue sauce, a pineapple, and a hibiscus hot sauce. They're absolutely delicious. So again, NICKKIM is the coupon code to get 10% off. All right, you guys, I appreciate you so much. We'll talk again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. Miss Brown, like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.